I'm going to file a defamation lawsuit against Josh Hokit. What he said isn't just insulting to me personally, it goes far beyond that. It's degrading and it contributes to harmful stereotypes about Black women as a whole. My husband and I have always stood for equality, and we've consistently tried to support the idea of building an America where everyone is treated fairly, with dignity and real freedom for all. So for this kind of language to be said, especially at the White House, during the celebration of America's 250th anniversary, is deeply disappointing. It reinforces damaging narratives, and it's completely unacceptable and disrespectful. As a result, all of Josh Hokit's earnings from UFC Freedom 250 will be frozen. Those funds will then be used as compensation for the damage done to my reputation. I also want to be clear that I will not be keeping any of that money for personal use. Instead, it will be directed through the Obama Foundation toward charitable efforts, specifically programs that support and empower Black women. That includes access to mental health services, career and job training opportunities, and initiatives focused on preventing harassment in the workplace.
For a long time, and the roots are in slavery, Black women have been slurred and made to feel that they were unattractive, made to feel that they were masculine, made to feel that they didn't have the femininity that a white woman would have. And so there's this intersectionality between racism and sexism that was on full display at the White House. The crowd laughed at the statement, and the President of the United States smirked, and never addressed what was said. That is beneath the dignity of the office of the President of the United States, and it's beneath the dignity of the American people.
Yeah. Lastly, Michelle Obama is a man. Am I right, America?
Was this the point? Was this the point of the whole UFC backyard trailer trash brawl in front of the White House, to go after a Black woman who has nothing to do with any of the events? That Black woman ain't got shit to do with none of this, but yet y'all can sit there and still be racist and be trashy at the same fucking time. This is why I say, for any white person that says racism doesn't exist, there's your sign. Most educated first lady in history. Because y'all forget that she's an Ivy League graduate ×2. A lawyer, a mother, a wife, an educator. Y'all will still find y'all way to disrespect her. I just woke up, but I hope she sues. I really hope Michelle and Barack sue, because at this point it's becoming a point of harassment. I know they always saying go high, but at this point there needs to be an example to stop fucking with y'all. I know we've got Juneteenth coming and y'all have the opening of the museum, but please don't go high this time. Please file a lawsuit. Please. That way they know next time they open their mouth, they're going to have to open their wallets too.
4 women strongly reacted to Josh Hokit's attack on Michelle Obama, and the last one even insisted on filing a lawsuit against him. The first is Brittany Griner, a WNBA Olympic gold medalist who was previously targeted by Josh Hokit with anti-transgender remarks. She joined Michelle Obama as a victim and filed a civil lawsuit, leading to UFC stripping his fight earnings and imposing heavy financial penalties. The second is Oprah Winfrey. Michelle Obama.
One of Donald Trump's UFC fighters just screamed, "Michelle Obama is a man," into the microphone after winning his fight at the White House. Just incredibly disgusting.
And lastly, Michelle Obama is a man. Am I right, America?
I am appalled and disgusted like any American out there. Idiots like this shouldn't have a platform to say stuff like this. And the fact that it's taking place at the White House, the people's house, is even worse. It's a desecration of the building. And look, the only good piece of news out of this event is that this racist piece of trash is getting paid in Trump coin. His paycheck is coming in the form of Donald Trump's cryptocurrency, meaning that all the money he made tonight will soon be worthless.
Democrats point out that Stephen Miller is an ugly fuck, and Republicans lose their mind. Republicans call Michelle Obama a man because they clearly don't know what a woman is, and that's always acceptable. double standards. These sniveling little children were seriously calling for somebody's head when she made that post about Stephen Miller. But then this guy makes this comment, and then also my video gets removed about it because they go and the red hat wearers go and mass report it. There's no community guideline violations in that. I know this. You watch my content. It's very tame. But I contend the biggest snowflakes in the world are the red hat wearing MAGAs. They melt down at the simplest things. They clutch their pearls, act like big, huge victims of the same stuff that they are so consistently doing themselves, multiplied by 10. So they need to all just sit down, shut up, and stop whining. Let's just hope that this 80th birthday was the last birthday so we can finally move on with our lives.
And lastly, Michelle Obama is a man. Am I right, America?
So Trump finally got his UFC birthday fight on the White House lawn, and they were marketing this whole event as something patriotic and unifying and for Flag Day and all this other BS. And then this happens. A UFC fighter calls Michelle Obama a man after his win. Unsurprisingly, Trump has not acknowledged or denounced the attack in any way. And when the White House was asked about this comment from this UFC fighter, this is what White House spokesman Stephen Chung had to say. He didn't condemn it. He praised the fighter's performance. He said, quote, "He had a great win last night. He showed toughness and the ability to pressure his opponent both on his feet and on the ground." Now compare that to how Trump reacted when France's First Lady Brigitte Macron was targeted with similar conspiracy theories from folks like Candace Owens. Trump called those attacks out. And it makes you wonder, what's the difference in his eyes between Brigitte Macron and Michelle Obama? Despite being the target of these types of racist and hateful attacks, Michelle Obama continues to carry herself with so much grace, intelligence, and dignity. And honestly, it's pretty pathetic that after nearly a decade after leaving the White House, she still occupies this much real estate in these people's broken brains.
Donald Trump and his birthday UFC event are being condemned across the board and by multiple different celebrities after one of the UFC fighters screamed into the microphone that Michelle Obama is a man. For example, Dave Portnoy, a Republican who voted for Trump, called on him to denounce the Michelle Obama slur that took place at the White House in a new interview. Now, I don't think Trump is going to do this. This is the same guy that posted an AI video of the Obamas as apes. So not holding my breath, but nonetheless. Comedian Shane Gillis also saying after the event that he didn't like it at all. He was actually very forceful in his condemnation. Jeff Nadu said, "If you thought this was funny, you're an effing loser," which I completely agree with. And last but not least, there are many different examples. Shannon Sharp went off on this UFC fighter saying, "You're not that funny, you're not entertaining. All you did was perpetuate a racial stereotype that you've been saying for years. Every time a black woman becomes something, you and other people from that side tried to take a shot at them." So while Donald Trump and his buddies laughed at this disgusting comment, they were actually caught on camera smiling after it was said. There are a bunch of people condemning Trump, and he's received a lot of backlash for platforming this.
And this has gotten a lot of well-deserved attention and a bad kind of attention. Josh Hokit, however you pronounce that guy's name, the UFC fighter who decided to disparage Michelle Obama. Now, to state the obvious, it is disgusting. It is racist. It's repulsive. It's like, how could you say that about a former first lady? It is also, and it should be seen this way, absolutely freaking pathetic. And it's also pathetic that Donald Trump did not disavow these comments. Is it surprising? No, it's absolutely not surprising. Of course it's not surprising. This is a president who depicted the former president and his wife as monkeys not that long ago, okay? Of course he's not going to disavow them. Even Dave Portnoy of Barstool Sports, not exactly a card-holding liberal, thinks he should disavow it, right? But of course he's not going to, because if he disavows it, if he tells his people it's not acceptable, then what does it mean? It elevates people who are better than him. And the Obamas are definitely better than him. And you know what I'm sure is driving him absolutely freaking crazy right now? That the Obama Library is going to open on Thursday. And between that and the parade for the Knicks, that is going to take up all the oxygen, all positive vibes around that thing. Mayor Mamdani is going to get lots of press. Barack Obama is going to get lots of press. And guess who's little sad guy who barely has an Iran deal? It's not even a deal, Donald Trump. But here's the thing. The man still lives in his...
It's not just that the UFC fighter said Michelle Obama is a man. That's disgusting enough. But Trump apparently was right there. I didn't see it happen, but apparently Trump was right there in the vicinity. Did he immediately grab the microphone and say, hey, That's not a good thing to say. That's a horrible thing to say. Do any of you remember what happened when John McCain, Senator John McCain, when he was campaigning against Obama for the presidency, and a woman in the audience started to disparage Obama as a Muslim? John McCain went into the audience, physically took the microphone from the woman and said, "No, ma'am, no, ma'am. Senator Obama is a good family man. We just happen to disagree about certain policies." Senator John McCain was a war hero and he had class. Donald Trump is a draft dodger who has no class, never has shown any class. And by the way, of course, Trump literally put down John McCain's service and said he was not a war hero because he was captured. As I've been saying for years, Donald Trump is a piece of shit. Oh, and by the way, it's now a couple of days later, the White House has still not pushed back on the Michelle Obama incident. How pathetic is that? How freaking pathetic.
Less than 6 hours after Josh Hokit made offensive remarks about Michelle Obama, Obama took 3 actions that cost him nearly $10 million. After winning at UFC Freedom 250, Hokit sparked controversy during a post-fight interview by claiming that former First Lady Michelle Obama is a man. While many expected Obama to stay silent, he quickly made 3 dramatic moves to defend his wife. First, Obama's legal team immediately filed a lawsuit in federal court. The lawsuit not only seeks substantial compensation for emotional distress, but also demands the freezing of all prize money Hokit earned from the fight. The value of those funds is estimated to be as high as $4 million. Second, Obama issued a clear warning to several major well-known brands that signing endorsement deals with Hokit would automatically trigger the termination of their contracts with Highland Productions. As a result, Hokit allegedly lost endorsement opportunities worth approximately $3.5 million. Finally, Obama's team pressured major streaming platforms, causing a documentary about Hokit's life and career, which was set to premiere next month, to be pulled and postponed indefinitely. The estimated losses and potential penalties from that decision reached roughly $2.5 million. Do you think Obama's response was too harsh?
The financial backing of this event became even more disturbing, even more gross. After the winner of one of the fights, Josh Hokit, made this disgusting comment following his win. I would prefer to ignore this, and I did yesterday. But for this to be broadcast from the White House with all these corporations sponsoring it on a day supposedly celebrating our country and patriotism, this has to be called out and covered.
And lastly, Michelle Obama is a man. Am I right, America?
Importantly, Joe Rogan, in an inexplicably bizarre short tie, says nothing. Nothing. Obviously not someone who can think on his feet. It's a despicable thing to say about the former First Lady of our country, and yet something that has been met with silence from Donald Trump, from Joe Rogan there, who was holding the microphone, literally holding it, could have pulled it away, could have said, that's too far, could have said, no, she's not. It's been met with silence from everyone who attended. It's been met in silence from all the high-ranking people who were there, from all the successful companies that lots of people support by buying their products. Those companies sponsored the event, and those companies' leaders have said nothing about the guy that won the fight, screaming, Michelle Obama is a man. Someone did push back, and I'll admit I was somewhat surprised by who it was. UFC's CEO, friend of Donald Trump, Dana White, denounced that comment. He said, quote, I understand that the Obamas are public figures, but I'm completely against saying nasty and false things about people's families. Everyone knows my position on free speech, but I hate that kind of nonsense, end quote. So for once, good for that statement from that person. But it makes it all the more stunning that none of the companies have said anything. And that lack of condemning those comments, the lack of outrage from anyone else speaks volumes.
A White House event celebrating America turned into a disgusting spectacle, and the president said absolutely nothing. Last night, Donald Trump hosted UFC fighters on the White House lawn for what critics are calling an ego-stroking distraction from the real crises crushing American families. Inflation is skyrocketing, gas prices are through the roof, the economy is tanking, and instead of addressing these issues, Trump turned America's 250th anniversary into another one of his campaign rallies. But here's what actually happened. A UFC fighter, one of Trump's invited guests, won his fight, grabbed the microphone, and in front of the president and millions of viewers shouted, "Michelle Obama is a man. Am I right, America?" Let that sink in. On the White House lawn, during a celebration of our nation, a sitting president watched as a fighter publicly degraded a former first lady with a hateful, baseless conspiracy theory. And what did Trump do? Nothing. He stood there, half smiling. Then he wrapped a medallion around this fighter's neck while his White House communications advisor posted the entire thing on Instagram. No rebuke, no apology, no condemnation. To be clear, these UFC fighters are known for being outrageous. That's not the issue. The issue is the President of the United States hosting an event where this kind of filth is given a platform, and then acting like it didn't happen. You can't claim to respect women, honor the military, or celebrate America while letting a guest denigrate the former First Lady in front of the world. That's not patriotism. That's cowardice wrapped in a flag. When CNN asked the White House for a response, they refused to directly address it. The UFC president called the comment nasty and false. But Trump? Silence. Deafening silence. Republicans are quietly admitting this event was designed to make Trump look popular. One GOP strategist said it's all a spectacle to project the idea that Trump is popular even within his own base. Even MAGA supporters, apparently, are being turned off by how he's hijacking America's birthday. But here's the real problem. This wasn't a celebration. Celebrations unite people. They embrace different backgrounds and remind us what we share. This event was a divider, a vehicle for Trump's ego and a breeding ground for hate. And the fact that Trump embraced it, smiled through it, and refused to denounce it tells you everything you need to know about who he really is. This is what happens when you turn the White House into a content studio for MAGA grievance. National institutions become campaign props. Dignity becomes a distant memory. Michelle Obama served this country with grace. She deserves better. America deserves better. And if Trump won't say that, then we will.
Look at what happened.
Hours after Josh Hokit attacked Michelle Obama at a White House boxing event, she immediately responded in 3 shocking ways that made him widely ridiculed. At a Trump-hosted birthday boxing event on the White House lawn, Josh Hokit sparked controversy after claiming in a post-fight interview that Michelle Obama is a man. The statement triggered heated debate, and Michelle quickly responded in 3 ways. First, she filed a defamation lawsuit against Josh Hokit. His remarks were seen as a serious insult that stereotypes and dehumanizes Black women. She believed that not responding would allow this kind of discrimination to continue, and quickly assembled a top legal team to file a federal lawsuit within hours. Second, she moved to freeze all his UFC Freedom 250 earnings, including fight payouts and bonuses, and also sought damages for harm to her reputation, believing financial pressure was the most effective response. Finally, she announced that all proceeds from the case would be donated to organizations supporting Black women. Through the Obama Foundation, she planned to create a special fund using 100% of any compensation, dedicated to mental health support, job training, and anti-workplace harassment programs for African American women. What's your view on her response?
Hello and good afternoon. Listen, so we all know about Sid's birthday, right? We know that it was rain, heat, and mosquitoes. We know that. Okay. Now, so the birthday bash happened. The UFC fight happened. Whatever that means is whatever it means. But that's not what I want to talk about. I want to understand why that man, Josh Hokit, whatever his name is, got up there, won his fight, and felt the need to say that Michelle Obama was a man. That's all y'all got. Y'all ain't got nothing but these low-class insults. Well, I got a couple for you. Melania was a hoe. We've seen the pictures. She was not a supermodel. That is a lie that they have been telling for years. Because there isn't one magazine cover, Vogue, Elle, Vanity Fair, Sports Illustrated, that she ever graced the cover of. She doesn't speak 7 languages. She can say hello in multiple languages. But I guess when you're a high-paid escort, you might need to. I'm just saying. Now, I know this is going to come off shocking to some people, but we're tired. Enough with the racist tropes, because our dear Michelle said, when they go low, we go high. No, baby. When they go low, I'm going to hell. That's it. I'm sorry if this offends people, but we're tired. I'm tired. We're all tired. Enough is enough. That's it. That's it. Because I am sick of the comparisons. Sick of the comparisons. This is racist supremacy behavior. You have a black woman, highly educated, constantly being compared to this white lady who's not even in the same. I can't even find the words. But enough is enough. And you know it's bad when you have other Republicans coming out and saying it was wrong. It was racist. Enough is enough. Tim Scott, where you at? What you got to say? Byron, what you got to say? Enough is enough. Okay, that's it. I'm done. Okay, bye.
Well, guys, the plot thickens. All right? Now, y'all know we got to hit them where it hurts the most. And that's where that pocket get their money. So it's been reported, y'all. It's been reported that Barack Obama, the legendary Barack Obama, has filed a lawsuit against Josh Hokit, whatever his name is. I don't care. Against him for defamation of character against his beautiful wife, Michelle Obama. Y'all know what he said. He was out of line for that. They hitting it where it hurts. Y'all, they have put a freeze on all of his funds, all of his accounts, a freeze. So that means he can't get nothing. And then on top of that, with this case, when they win the case, all of the proceeds towards this case is going to go to foundations that is presented by the Barack Obama Foundation. That means it's going to go to the black community. It's going to go to, the women universities. They're going to give back where it's actually deserved and needed. It's been reported, y'all. So y'all know we don't play games when it comes down to this kind of stuff. And they've been talking about these people. They've been talking about the Obamas for a long time. And
he's just mad Michelle Obama could kick his ass. Yeah, the guy who threw up on himself and then went on TV and said, Michelle Obama is a man, Josh Hokit. He's just upset that Michelle Obama is not only smarter than him, more successful than him, but she could also take him down. And his statement and the crowd's reaction, Joe Rogan, and even Donald Trump smiling when he said that proves everything I ever thought about the UFC, its fighters, and the majority of its fan base. I said what I said. Now, why go after Michelle Obama other than the fact that she's an incredibly intelligent, accomplished black woman in America? I mean, for most white people and white men in particular, that's reason enough. But here's the thing. The Obamas live rent-free in all of their heads, not just Barack, but Michelle too. Why? Because they know that they could never measure up. And white men in particular are really upset that they can never measure up to a strong, intelligent, educated black woman who could probably also take him down.
Really ugly moment at the White House UFC event Sunday when heavyweight champ Josh Hokit, after his beatdown of Derek Lewis, decided to take his moment in the sun and smear a former First Lady.
Michelle Obama is a man. Am I right, America? Ladies and gentlemen, Josh Hokit.
I cannot even imagine how Republicans in Congress or the MAGA world would react if a similar disgusting thing was said about First Lady Melania Trump at an official event. And it would be nice if there was one standard for such things and how we treat each other. The event, of course, had already raised a lot of eyebrows and criticism. UFC paid for the event, but they also, no doubt, made a ton of money in merchandise sales and sponsorship deals and subscriber growth. And to critics, frankly, the whole event looked rather political, and to others, the merging of politics and entertainment was distasteful. Part of the staging at the press conference took place at the Lincoln Memorial with military personnel and honor guards being used People objected to the idea of using military honor traditions for an entertainment event, using a almost sacred memorial site, the Lincoln Memorial, for a promotional event. Now, the Trump folks argued that this is all in celebration of America's 250th birthday. This is not about Trump. This is not about MAGA. This is not about the Republican Party. I guess the question is then, is insulting a Democratic First Lady part of that celebration? And if so, is the celebration for everyone in this country or just one particular group of people with certain political beliefs?
When asked about Hokit's comments, White House spokesman Stephen Chung said, quote, "He had a great win last night. He showed toughness and the ability to pressure his opponent both on his feet and on the ground." When I asked, hey, the White House understandably protests when people insult First Lady Trump, how does your refusal to criticize Hokit for his remarks about First Lady Obama, how does it square with that? The White House refused to directly address the question.
Anyway, thank you for watching Great Minds Blacks. See you in the next video.
Thank you for watching Great Minds Blacks.